Starfield's latest and last deep dive was this past Sunday, and man oh man, was there an absolute ton of cool things hidden within. Today we're going to be checking out 100 exciting moments that made me pause the showcase, some in straight disbelief and some to do research. Also, a couple of these points we already knew about, but most of them are never before seen game systems, objects, and creatures. I'm just going to mention what stopped me, why it's interesting, and move on to the next point. Hopefully transitions between points won't be too jarring. They get crazier and crazier as we go along, and with that out of the way, let's get to number one. Number one, this galaxy we are in is fully simulated with actual celestial orbits and everything that comes with it. 2. Seeing this game in full 4K with the real-time global illumination is absolutely stunning. It even matters what type of star the light is coming from and the atmosphere of the planet you are on. The lighting in this game was made to look more cinematic and breathtaking. Damn, I think they did a very good job on that front. 3. Each area that we land in will have a checklist of flora, fauna, and resources. We'll be using our scanner to find these different points of intrigue. 4. Unexpected locations like this abandoned mine will be littered all around the galaxy. 5. Combat looks way better than it did in the last showcase. With the hit markers, movement, and dynamic effects, I'm super pumped to get into it. 6. We get our first look at some in-game items, including the cred stick, Starfield's money. I'm pumped to get my hands on a cred stick with the collector's edition. 7. We get our first look at our data menu with our skills, ship, missions, and inventory. 8. Our inventory is calculated with mass, not weight, so it never changes due to fluctuations in gravity. I, for one, am very glad we don't have to worry about the varying gravity and being over-encumbered because of it. 9. If we look at our ship distance, I'm assuming that means we are currently 20 light years from our solar system, with the settled systems being roughly 50 light years in diameter. I guess we are about halfway to the outer rim. 10. Having gun accuracy as a factor is very interesting. I wonder if that changes with gun mods or character skills. 11. And yes, the cutter will do 4 base damage, so good luck to whatever idiots, maybe even including me, are going to do a challenge run with that. 12. As far as spacesuits go, it seems that the suit and the helmet are the 2 major pieces of clothing that we will be wearing. 13. Synthomeat steaks. The real synthetic meat. Hilariously ironic. 14. Trilobites. Small alien arthropods sauteed and served with whipped butter. I think this stuff is genius. Creative, funny, and realistic in a sci-fi way. I can't wait to see what the sweet rolls look like. 15.
Welcome back, Captain Howard.
Vasco says your name just like Codsworth did in Fallout 4. Hopefully he has even more ability to pronounce names than Codsworth did. Codsworth had about 900 pre-recorded names that he could say, and some were hilarious.
Mom, Mr. Fuckface, Mr. Bastard, Mr. Assface, Mr. Boob.
16. We could get up and walk around our ship while in space. 17. We could zoom up to the wall and see some patches. Some are recognizable, like the 10th planet, Bethesda's last try at a space game which ended up being cut due to technological restraints. 18. The Livingstone project has also intrigued me, so I did some research and found out that Dr. David Livingstone was the first European to cross the African continent on foot. He published geographical data and pushed for the abolition of slavery. Not sure if this is the Livingstone referred to, but he is an interesting explorer nonetheless, and BGS seems to be inspired by these explorers and pioneers of old. 19. We get another look into how we'll be plotting our courses with the navigation terminal. From here, we could survey planets to see their useful data, resources, and outposts. What really interests me here is the traits. These 2 missing traits seem to be the only mysterious data on that survey. 20. Backing out to the system map, we could tell which planets are barren/resource heavy and which ones will have life and missions on them. 21. Backing out even further, we have a star map where we could plot a course using our grav jibe to jump to systems that are light years away. Red systems are unexplored. 22. While loading up our grav drive for the jump, we see all types of calculations being made. I didn't understand a couple of the words, so I figured I'd share what my research told me. 23. We'll start on the right with inserting periapsis data. It turns out in each solar system, everything revolves around a point called the system's center of mass, including the sun. In our solar system, the center of mass is 450 kilometers from the center of our sun. So it's still technically in our sun, but there are two very different points. Now that you understand that, we could explain periapsis data and apoapsis velocity. So an orbiting object is actually orbiting the system's center of mass. The closest point on that orbital path to the center of mass is called the periapsis, where the gravitational pull and therefore velocity is at its highest. And on the other end of the spectrum, the farthest point in a celestial object's orbital path from that center of mass is called an apoapsis, where the gravitational pull and velocity is at its lowest. So these two data sets are referring to gravitational relationships and how they may affect our flight path. Number 24, Planck mapping seems to refer to the Planck mapping project, where the European Space Agency measured the cosmic microwave background of space in the form of microwaves and infrared waves. Not too sure how this affects spaceflight, to be honest. 25. A second later, we see the word synodic pull, which refers to a gravitational pull from a sun. And lastly, we see the words trawl distortion, which I could find nothing about, so someone please help. And that should end our science lesson for the day, as our ship is finally ready for our grav jump. 26. We jump to New Atlantis in the Alpha Centauri system, where our cargo is scanned before entering. I'm wondering how we will get past this scan, if and when we are loaded up with contraband like Aurora. 27. New Atlantis is BGS's biggest city ever made, and I'm relieved that we could actually go up into some of these giant buildings. 28. Sarah Morgan looks great. Big improvement over last year. 29. I believe this to be Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer famous for masterminding the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe. Talk about a man with some cojones. Naysayers at the time warned him of sailing off the edge of the world. A very courageous and inspiring man. 30. This looks to me like the Apollo lander and command module from the Apollo 11, the first mission to successfully land humans on the moon. Another absolute inspiration for this game and mankind in general. 31. This appears to be the head of the Curiosity rover in front of his great-great-great-grandson, Vasco. 32. We get a better look at our vision from that first artifact. This time it is clearly different from the grav jump animation. The two have been eerily similar, if not combined, in the other marketing content. 33. Mateo might as well be me.
Built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
He's the only one screaming aliens here. Finally, I'm not crazy. Well, at least not for that. Or we're both crazy.
And the answer is a potential yes.
34. The Maggot Maul returns. This seems to be the big bad monster of Starfield, a result of a lab experiment on Crete gone wrong. See our video on Starfield's creatures for more on that topic. 35. The city of Sidonia is the largest mining facility for the United Colonies, and where we start the beginning of the game. 36. Outside the United Colonies territories, we have the Free Star Collective, a loose federation of star systems, home to Aquila City and its space western fantasy. 37. A duel. 38. We get a closer look at Neon and start to see more of the Yakuza meets Miami Vice meets Cyberpunk vibe taking over with the dragon art, mob bosses, the clubbing, and the murder. 39. Is that a katana? 40. Outside the civilized space is home to the most hostile faction in the game, House of Varun, They remind me of the children of Adam with their zealotry and leniency towards violence. 41. We are shown a place called the Red Mile. Seems to be an outpost with some type of dangerous foot race we could run. 42. We finally see the Crimson Fleet's headquarters, the Key, an old United Colonies space station that has since been taken over by this group of space pirates. 43. What on neon is that? We better be hunting this thing underneath the city. I'm guessing this whalish creature is what Xenofresh extracts Aurora from? 44. We get our first look at the bounty meter in the game. It seems you can have a bounty from different factions. This character is wanted by the United Colonies. 45. We also get our first real look at Sol, our solar system, in-game. I'm pumped to have my first steps on our moon and hopefully get up close and personal with a European geyser. What are you guys most excited to do in our solar system? 46. Character customization looks better than it ever has in a BGS game, especially with the help of these real-world scans. 47. Our chosen background gives us 3 different skills and can affect us at any point throughout the game. 48. While building our character, we could also pick 3 optional traits that come with pluses and minuses. With Hero Worshipped, I can't believe they actually brought this idiot from Oblivion back, with the same voice actor and everything. And yes, these traits can be quote-unquote gotten rid of. 49. Next we have the kid stuff trait, where we could automatically send our parents money, but we could visit them too? Will they look like the character we build? This is so wild and I love it. 50. Next we have the Serpent's Embrace trait, which gives you some leeway with the House Varun, along with its other pluses and minuses. 51. Lastly, we have Wanted, giving you a damage buff when you are low on health, but you are constantly being chased by bounty hunters. This reminds me of the Legion constantly chasing me around the Mojave. This seems like a fun one to keep you on your toes.
Degenerates like you belong on a cross.
52. Persuasion checks seem to be a major part of the game. Finally, I feel like that's what we've all been wanting, right? 53. Land squids? 54. And every time we level up, we get a skill point. We could use these points to unlock or rank up skills. In order to rank up, you also need to complete related challenges. I like this because it reminds me of everything I like from New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Skyrim's leveling systems combined. 55. The Xenosociology skill, aka Alien Mind Control. This is a great evolution from Fallout 4's Charisma perks. I'm excited to see what you could do when you actually control a giant alien. 56. Boost packs, boy! This looks way too much fun. 57. Neurostrikes makes unarmed builds look insane. I'm still a bit confused about this electromagnetic bar that has been depleted above the enemies. Is it like a shield? No clue. You'd think the shield would have to be fully depleted before the enemy takes actual damage, but that's not the case, so I'm super confused and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. 58. United Colonies Naval Cutlass? 59. The thermal vision looks so good. 60. Using vents for stealth combat? Come on, that's literally straight from Die Hard. So cool.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
61. You want to talk good-looking combat? Thank God they took an extra year in this game. The combat here looks infinitely better than last year's showcase. The death from above thing? Come on now. 62. This shot is absolutely stunning. All the different textures on the gun and their different lighting is just very impressive. I did not think this game would look this good, to be honest, and I'm pumped to play a BGS game in native 4K. 63. And ships are way more customizable than I thought. You could place the pieces individually wherever you'd like as long as they connect. Upgrade them, switch them out, paint them to an exact color. I'm actually curious to see if there's a paintbrush option to paint an actual design on your ship. but maybe a modder will have to add that in. There's also cowling you could use, which are largely cosmetic structural components. With all of this, you can make your ship look like almost anything, from a platypus to a mech robot. Super, super cool stuff. 64. Companions finally have abilities. You could send them to your crew or a settlement where their stats will affect the quality of their output. They have their own quest lines as usual, but this time you could turn that friendship into something even more. We could always find more crew members at spaceports and other random locations all throughout the galaxy. 65. The power allocation system will play a huge part in space combat. Whether putting power to our grav drive to initiate jumps faster, or pumping power into our shields and weapons to fight, this seems like an awesome system. 66. Targeting control system skill lets you target specific parts of an enemy ship, so you could do with them as you please. You could just blow them up and scrap them from the cockpit, or take out their shield, grav drive, and engines, leaving them open to boarding. Once boarded, we have some zero-G combat. Once taken over, you could send that ship to the fleet, and your fleet/customization options are accessed at any spaceport. 67. We could dock and maybe even fight giant battleships. Sounds like there's more than one Pridwin in this game. 68. Space crews with the elite and their Earth Preservation Society. This is giving me real Far Harbor Vault vibes. 69. We could talk, trade, and question any ship that we come into contact with. 70. This granny probably cooking rad scorpion pies seems suspiciously pleasant. 71. We see a Deimos armored transport lose its artificial gravity. Maybe they know we have boarded. 72. And as always, we'll have some zany side quests. This one here reminds me a bit of the Cabot quest line. It's like this guy unearthed an ancient Egyptian, but her headpiece is saying House Varun to me. 73. And a ship full of people thinking they're the only ones to leave Earth? This makes me really curious about what happened to our home planet. 74. Space Nirnroot? 75. Here we have our largest space fight yet. Very hectic and looks like a blast. 76. The Chronomark watch and case look amazing, especially when compared to a plastic bag. The custom controller and headset look awesome as well. I can't wait to get my Constellation Edition in the mail. I'm sure we'll be doing an unboxing for that. 77. While scanning planets, it's possible to see where their resources actually are with the geological view. 78. Starfield's procedural system generates planets as the players approach them. Then the system adds handcrafted content like locations, creatures, planets, and quests littered all throughout. I'm super excited to see how this actually feels. Will it all feel handmade or cookie cutter? What is super cool is that the planets are different for each player, so even if your friends visited the same planet, they'd tell a different story. This feels right at home with Bethesda games. 79. Legendary items are back, baby. This time with multiple effects. This legendary helmet has 3 different active effects. 80. With the right skill, you could see which creatures have what resources, and build outposts to harvest those resources. The level of detail in these creatures amazes me. And check this out. Different types of genetics. What will life look like that isn't the standard double helix or carbon based? The only creatures on our planet that I could find without DNA are some RNA viruses, and as far as non-carbon based life forms, there are none. What the heck will that look like? Everything on Earth that we've ever known has been carbon based. It's just really interesting to think about how they'll take that one. 81. We will be awarded for surveying planets and whole systems. Who will be the first to survey the entire playable galaxy? All 1,000 planets, even spending just 30 minutes on each planet and not taking into account travel time, this would take about 500 hours or roughly 21 actual days. Good luck to whoever you are, because I know someone out there is going to do it. 82. Most of these aliens look insane. It's almost like someone went crazy with Photoshop, adding different animal appendages together and blending them. Some even look straight out of a Dr. Seuss book with their trumpet-like orifices. 83. Building in settlement mode will be a lot easier with the new flycam, allowing us to build basically in creative mode as far as mobility and perspective goes. Also, they said that decorating and fine-tuning things inside will be much easier this time around. Well, I sure hope so. Anyone that has ever tried to decorate inside their house in Fallout 4 using regular objects feels my pain. I swear, dude, if I bump into any of these decorations and they go just absolutely flying, someone's going down with me. 84. Crafting and research are integral parts of Fallout 4, and in Starfield it seems like they've doubled down on this. There seem to be way more options. I think we could all agree more options and things to mess with is always a good thing. I'm very excited to add explosive rounds to everything possible. 85. Speaking of explosive rounds, here we are using them on some House Varun robots. 86. Seeing all the different melee weapons really excites me. I'm still wondering if they have a NASA punk equivalent to a lightsaber. And yes, you do take damage blocking, but it seems to be very minimal. 87. The new dynamic combat looks amazing. Shooting a coolant barrel freezes the enemy next to it. Boost packs look way too much fun, especially with the explosive guns. Shooting ballistics in 0G actually moves you backwards, but lasers don't. like the attention to detail, the attention to scientific detail in this game is just so exciting. It's what makes the world so believable and just pumps me up. 88. Electromagnetic induction guns. Having all the different types of barrels and laser sights really make these feel different. They're not just rail guns. They're almost automatic rail shotguns. Very pumped to check these out in game. 89. I can't really tell what this sine wave bar is. It seems to be some type of electromagnetic shield. I already said this, but still not sure what that is. 90. Miniguns. Yup. 91. Break barrel revolver and impact grenades. Yup. And yes, even a space AK. Cryo grenades and katana. Like, I really shouldn't have to explain why this stuff is just super, super cool. 92. And lastly, for weapons, I'm pretty sure we get our first look at a unique weapon in the game. This skin screams unique to me, with the Crimson Fleet logo, the anarchist symbol, the body count, and the words "No Gods, No Masters" written on the side. My guess is this is a unique pistol called the Anarchist. 93. Here are some even larger House Varun bots. 94. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but did they just give our player the Force? It seriously seems like we have control over gravity. I'm guessing this is maybe a gameplay mechanic unlocked after beating the main story and maybe acts as a use this crazy ability once a day type of thing. There's no way we could run around and just instantly kill everyone by turning off the gravity like that all the time. Or have the ancient aliens who built all the artifacts taken over our body? Who knows? 95. Photo mode actually looks awesome and I cannot wait to use it. 96. The attention to detail in this clip is incredible. Every item looks like it has a purpose or could tell a story. And this clip makes detailed furnishing actually seem possible. Hopefully we could place everything in there like that, and it's not just what comes with the HAB. 97. Low gravity jumping has been something I've been pumped for since I heard Starfield was even a thing. I'm the type of idiot who still hops back into oblivion every now and then, just to run along the roofs nearby the waterside with my high acrobatic skill. 98. I'd hate to leave this video without talking about sound design. I'm not going to mention anything specific, but dude, if you have Einon Zur working on your soundtrack, you are more than gold. It's the same guy who worked on Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Lord of the Rings, War in the North, and many other great sounding games. 99. Starfield Cordyceps? brain sprout? What? And lastly, for number 100 of wow moments during this Starfield Direct, what on God's great green galaxy is this abomination? Is this an alien costume? Is this what happens if you pick alien DNA? A form of alien parasite? Or is this the intelligent species that we've been looking for? And actually, lastly, as a freebie here, it seems like we get another peek at the full artifact. What does this do? Is it a means of travel? Something to talk to? A window into memories of whatever ancient civilization left it? Not sure, but if you'd like to hear my theory, check out this video next. And as always, I really do appreciate you guys. If you got to the end of this video, you are awesome. I hope you enjoyed this wild ride, and I hope to see you next time. Consider subscribing for more Starfield content. These videos take a ton of time. If we could hit 1,000 subs, that would mean the world to me. Again, I love you guys and hope to see you next time. Later.